Hari Om. Welcome you all to yet another session on Python programming course. In the fifth module, we are dealing the GUI programming using tkinter module. We had seen the layout managers as well as some of the tkinter widgets like button, check button, canvas, etc. in the previous sessions. We started with what do you mean by GUI programming, then how to install tkinter. We had created a simple window, then we had also seen the first widget, which is a very popular widget which is used in almost all the windows, the button widget. We had seen an example of button widget, how it can be made use of. Then as part of the layout manager, we had seen the three geometry managers: pack method, grid method and place method. What is the syntax and what are the different options that are used for these methods were also discussed in our previous session. Then another widget called as canvas widget was introduced, which is used to draw shapes. We had seen some of the drawing methods that are available in the canvas widget. So this is an example code which draws some shapes on the canvas. Then we also discussed about check button widget, which is used to display number of options, and if you want to select multiple options at a time, then we use the check button, or you call it as check boxes. We had seen an example of how a check button can be created. As an example, I think I'll just show you the example of the boxes program. So this is the program which we had seen earlier. I have opened it in Spider. I have 4 check button variables to associate with the check button. Then we had defined a function here. So in the function, we are going to just get the value of the check button variable. If it is equal to 1, that means the check button is selected. So we just display a message like this in a label. We are using only for the first 2 check boxes. You can explore it further. Then along with that, I am also using a print statement which will be printing the value of the first checkbox and the second checkbox. So if it is checked, the value will be 1. If it is unchecked, the value will be 0. Okay, so let us just try running the program. When I run it, I get this window. This is the window, and you can see here we had changed the background and foreground values of this widget, right? So that is why it is changing. Active foreground we had changed for the first 2 buttons. So active foreground is red for the first one, active foreground is blue for the second one. So that is why we get this. So when I move the mouse over the checkbox, it changes the foreground color, right? So here also it changes the foreground color. Now if you observe here, I am going to show you the output also. Let me take, when I check the first one, it says C has been selected. And you can see here checkbox 1 is checked and checkbox 2 is unchecked. So it is having value 1 and this is having value 0. And when I check it, both the checkboxes are checked or on. So I have got C has been selected, C++ has been selected, and both the check boxes are now having value 1 and 1. Now when I uncheck it, only C++ has been selected, but checkbox 1 is having value 0 and checkbox 2 is having value 1 because this is checked. Now when I uncheck it, it is not displaying anything, right? Because only when it is checked, I asked you to display the label, right? If you see the code, in the code, if you have observed, only if the check button value is 1, I am creating the label. Otherwise, I am not creating the label. Okay. So that is why when it is unchecked, it is not displaying the label. But when I check it, it is displaying the value. Whereas in both the cases, I am displaying the value. I am displaying the value here. So it displays the value, right? So that is how checkboxes values can be accessed and manipulated in a separate function or in your Python program. So next widget is a very important widget which you call as the entry widget, which is a very interesting widget because whenever you create a form, you want to receive some values from the user, right? When you want to accept some values from the user. For accepting a single line value, a single line text field value, you can use the entry widget. So like this, you may want to create a form in which this is the label and this is what you call as the text box, or you call it as entry box, right? So this is where the user will enter the value. So we call it as entry box, right? So you can create entry boxes like this, and these entry boxes will receive a single line text field value from the user. Okay. So let us see what is the syntax of the widget. The syntax is nothing but the entry, the parent window or a parent widget is to be specified as the first argument, and following which you can have key value pairs of options separated by commas. So this is an example code. Please observe the code. We will work out the code also. You are going to import the module. Then you create a window with this particular size. You create the window. Then I create a label which is having the text value as username, and I am going to add it to the window using the place method. Okay. So this username will be placed in the window in x and y coordinate like 30 and 50. Then the next label is created which has the value password. So this label is also created and I am packing it at this particular location. Now after which I am creating a button. This is the button I am creating. I create the button and I give the caption as login, and the active background value I give it as yellow. So what happens when I place the mouse over this button, the color will be changed, and by the time I change the foreground value to be red, and I place it at this particular coordinate. Then what I do, after creating two labels and button, I am creating two entry boxes. I am not specifying any width or kind of thing. Everything is going to be default, and I just specify where I want to add this widget. So I just specify the parent window as the window object which I have created as WIN. So this is the window object to which the entry widget will be added. Then I place it to some coordinates, x and y coordinates also specify, and I am going to use the main loop. So when I create this program displays a window like this with two labels, two entry boxes and one login button. Okay, so this is the program for that. Then let us see the program. I'll go to the program now. So I just create a window with two entry boxes. So this is the program which I had tried earlier. Let us copy it and let us insert some cells. I am going to copy it here. So this is the program which we had seen now. I am going to run this program. When I run it, I get this window. Okay, I get this window, and you can observe here the active background and active foreground of the login button has been set. So it is changing the color. So when I click this, when I move the mouse over the button, it changes the background as well as foreground color to the specified color, right? So that is what I get in this particular window, and I get two entry boxes. You can type some values in the entry boxes. Fine? Okay. Let us go back to our So this is the second program, an example of entry widget again. Observe here, I import the module and I create the window with this particular size, and I create three labels, first number, second number and result. These are the three labels I am creating. Then I create three entry boxes. I create three entry boxes also, so that I can ask the user to enter the values in these boxes. Then I am adding a button and I give the caption as add, and of course I can change the active background and foreground color. Then when I click this button, what happens? I want to add the value in the first entry box to the value in the second entry box, and the result must be displayed in the third entry box. So what I do, when I click this button, I am adding a command, and this command is associated with a function which I have defined here. The command is the action that should take place when I click the button. Okay, the command option specifies what action should take place when I click the button. So here I define a method called add method, and to this add method I am getting the first entry box value which I call as E1, and I get the second entry box value which I call as E2. Then I convert both the values, because this is the text box, so the value will be only in a string. So the string is now converted into integer. I convert it into integer and I add it. I store it in a variable called result. Then I am going to insert this result value in the index 0. I am inserting the result at the index 0. So I will get the result, right? So this is the program. You create a window, create three labels, create three entry boxes, then one add button I am going to create, and to the add button I am associating the command option to the function called add method. What I do in the add method, I just get the value of the first entry box, convert it to integer, get the value of the second entry box, convert it into integer, and the result will be inserted into the third entry box right from the index 0. So this is what we are going to do. So let us go back to our Jupyter notebook. Okay, so this is the program. Let me copy this program. I will show you how it can be run in a Spider. I am going to copy it here. I clear the console. clear the console. This is your program. I am importing and I set the method. I have the 3 labels, 3 entries and button. Okay, let us try running it. Let me call it as entry box demo. I'm going to run it. Okay, of course, let me quit these windows. So I'm getting the window like this. Okay, let us change the size of this window. Let me change it to 300 by 300. Let us see what happens now. No, let me change it to 400 by 300. Okay. So if you want, you can change the height to 250. And run it. Okay, fine. Better now. Okay. So this is the window which we had created with 3 labels, 3 entry boxes and an add button which will change the background and foreground color when I move the mouse over it. Okay. Now I am going to enter the first number as 10, second number as 20 and I click the add button. The result is now displayed here. Suppose I change the value to 206, 104 and I click the add button, it is changing the value, right? Yeah, let me delete it and it will be changing the value, right? And see, when I add it again and again, it is appending the value, right? So what we can do, we can E3 dot insert at 0. Let me add a blank value. Let us try this. I run the code. I add these 2 values. Yeah, it is inserting the blank space as well as the result. Okay. So if you want to reset the value, now let us go and observe what are the different methods and options available for the entry widget, and then let us go and clear the value. Okay. So these are the possible options of the entry widget. As usual, we have the background, border, foreground, font value, then highlighting the background color, then inserting, justifying, relief. All these are different options that are available for the entry widget, and these are some of the methods that are available for the entry widget. So instead of resetting the entry widget with value as the blank space also, we can go for deleting it also, right? So if you say delete and from first the last index, then it will be deleting the specified characters inside the widget. Okay, so let us try that. I'll go to this place and I'm going to delete E3 dot delete, open the parenthesis, the first index 0 and last index, let me say 10. Okay, let us see what happens now. I run it, add it. Now if you see, when I change the value, it is deleting the content only then it is showing the new value. So earlier it was, when I commented it, let us close this window. If I comment it, I run it, I get 12, 12. When I add it, I get 24, and when I change this value to 120, it was appending the values, right? It was appending the values. Earlier value will be there and it will be inserting the new value right from the index 0. But what I did now, I had given a delete function here, so that right from index 0, 10 characters will be deleted, right? So by the time when I run this code, I am getting the values, right? And when I change it to 120, it's giving you the new value. When I change it to 235, it is giving you the new value, right? So this is how the different methods and the different options can be used for handling the entry widgets, right? So you can actually further explore on what are the different options available and how these options can be made use of in your application. And not only that, what are the different methods available. So out of this many number of methods, we had tried get method, delete method and the insert method. Apart from that, you have lot more methods are also available. You can further explore on these methods. So the next widget that we are going to discuss is the label widget, which we had already seen in our previous examples. Label widget is nothing but it will provide you a single line caption for other widgets, right? So as if you want to give username, password as the caption for the entry widgets, then we have to use the label widget, okay? And it can also contain some images also. You can add some images also to the label. And this is the syntax. Label is the object creation name, or let me say this is the class name, or you call it as the constructor, whatever it is, right? So, and the first argument will be the parent window or the widget, and following which you can have key value pairs of options which will be separated by commas, right? And this is an example, better example. You can have username and password as the caption for these two entry boxes. So this is one example which we had seen now. And this is another example here. You can observe I create a window with this size, and I am using a resizable function of the window by saying false, so that the window cannot be resized, right? So you can observe here I am not getting the resize option here. You can only minimize, you can't resize it. And I just create a label, right? And this is the label text. So this is the label text, and I'm going to have the background as blue and foreground as pink. And you can see here the label is having background blue and pink foreground is given here. And I'm packing it, right? I'm using the pack method to add the widget to the window. Okay, I pack it. And when I pack it, I give the iPadX value, right? So internal padding I'm giving. So what happens now? In the x-axis, it is having 10 pixels on both sides, as well as in the y-axis, it is having 10 pixels on both sides, top and bottom. And in the x-axis, left and right is having 10 pixels as the internal paddX value, right? So this is a very simple example you can take for the label widget. So these are list of possible options available for the label widget. These are the possible options. You can have options, and you can also have a anchor value which will specify the exact position of the text within the size provided to the widget. So that whatever be the size of the label, the position of the text will be specified. Exact position can be specified. The default is always the center, and if you want to justify it, you can justify, or if you want to give it as left justification, right justification, that can also be given. These are the different possible options available: pad x, pad y, ipad x, ipad y, and you can also have a text variable. These are the different options available. So you can use the wrap length also, and this will specify whether you can have multiple lines, right? Whether you can break the label text into number of lines or not, that can also be specified here, right? So around 18 options are available according to the requirement of your application. You can add these options in your program. So that's it about the label widget. Let us stop here. Let us discuss about frame widget in the upcoming session. Thank you.